Swingers at Mandalay Bay offers some of the most aesthetically pleasing mini golf these eyes have seen. But I left feeling underwhelmed and, quite frankly, a little bit ripped off by the experience. Swingers is a new adult-only crazy mini golf concept that recently opened at Mandalay Bay, and I've been jacked to check it out. The venue's home to 4 different 9-hole mini golf courses, each with their own unique flair. I booked a 9-hole round of mini golf for my brother Ike and I, which cost us $30 per person. That price does jump up to $35 on certain days. Steep, but it looked pretty cool. In addition to mini golf, Swingers has an arcade, which they call a Carnival, and I opted to add Carnival credits to our package for an additional $15 per person, because arcades are fun. My grand total for a 9-hole round of mini golf and Carnival credits came to $45 per person, or $90 total. Here's where things started to get weird. Before the checkout process, I was prompted to add a tip for the service team with options ranging from 18 to 25%. Now, I had no idea why I was being asked to tip on a round of mini golf and Carnival credits. I figured there was a reason they were asking, and I didn't want to look like a jerk, so I tacked on a 20% tip, which amounted to $18, bringing our total cash outlay to this point to $108. We arrived promptly at 5 p.m. and were randomly assigned to play the carousel course, and were given a tee time of 5:10, 10 minutes after our scheduled arrival time. Your actual tee time could be anywhere within the half-hour window you booked, so your wait could be slightly longer. After passing through the Secret Service-like security presence out front, not kidding, the visual of ascending the stairs into the venue and the first glimpse of the courses from above was impressive. She's a beaut. We grabbed a putter and ball at the first hole and were read the rules, which included playing fast, taking no more than 6 strokes per person per hole, and not swinging the putter above the knees. Basic stuff. The 9 holes we played were a lot of fun. They had enjoyable quirks, were differentiated from other mini golf experiences I've had in the past, and each gave you a realistic chance at a hole-in-one. This is one of the more creative mini golf courses out there. There are fun obstacles and various facets to each hole that you need to navigate, and aiming for the bronze-colored chutes give you the best chance at a hole-in-one. The coolest holes, though, are the ones with the moving parts, like illuminated Ferris wheels, hot air balloons, and other carnival rides. A fun twist, getting a hole-in-one on the 9th and final hole allowed you to spin a wheel that could yield prizes like a free drink, dessert, or carnival credits. The one drawback of this perk, though, is that people took that shot very seriously and it created a huge backup. We had to wait for like 4 groups to finish the hole before we could attack it. Of course, being the degenerates that we are, Ike and I gambled between ourselves on our round of mini golf, and the loser would be tasked with buying pizza and drinks afterwards. The lesser athlete in my family, I got my ass kicked. Looking back at the video timestamps, our round of mini golf took exactly 17 minutes from start to finish. Pretty short experience for $30 per person plus tip. After our round, we headed up to the Carnival, which was a fun diversion, albeit crowded and smaller than I had anticipated coming in. Games offered included skee ball, basketball shooting games, whack-a-mole, claw games, and other midway-style contests like spraying a stream of water at targets or rolling balls into holes to propel your racer, and games of total chance. Upon arrival, you're given a card that is loaded with your Carnival credits, and that card also tracks the tickets or points that you earn during gameplay. And those points can be redeemed in the prize shop, which was stocked with highest quality Swingers branded merchandise like playing cards, golf balls, mugs, glasses, and this sweet bottle opener that we pooled our points to procure. On the food and drink front, Swingers has a couple gorgeous bars and also offers a menu with a collection of unique pizzas, burgers, appetizers, and desserts. As you can imagine, 17 minutes of mini golf and 15 minutes in the Carnival worked up quite an appetite. So we ordered the Roni Supreme Pizza, which was 6 square pieces for $29 US and 2 tall frosty drinks that cost $23 each. I thought the drinks and pizza were fine. The pizza did seem pretty doughy in the middle and maybe undercooked. I'm not an elite culinary mind, maybe that was intended. I have no idea. It did the trick though. Also, I don't want to hear any guff about the drink selection. Our throats were in pain from having to talk over the music in the venue, and we thought the frostiness would help. The drinks soothed the throat, they were tasty. So what's not to like? Even by Vegas standards, this is an expensive attraction. $30 for a single 9-hole round of mini golf is steep. For reference, that breaks down to $3.33 per hole, or $1.76 per minute played, in our case. What increasingly irked me though was the tip I paid at the time of booking to be split amongst the service team. I have no idea what that was for. There was no unique service element to the mini golf besides being handed a scorecard and read the rules, and we were still expected to tip on our food and drink consumed at the venue, which we obviously did. As the evening progressed, the upfront tip just felt more and more scammy. And look, I get made fun of for tipping at walk-up food hall counters like Popeyes and Starbucks. I don't mind tipping culture at all. I embrace it. This is not an anti-tipping rant, but asking for an upfront 18 to 25% tip on a self-played round of mini golf and Carnival session is insanity. A bridge too far. We have crossed the Rubicon. I don't actually know what that means, but it felt like it might work here. This is the kind of nickel and diming that Vegas visitors have been up in arms about for years, and I don't blame them in this case. It left a bad taste in my mouth that only got worse as the night progressed. The mini golf course was also pretty crowded with players and employees and offered minimal room to maneuver at certain choke points. Your personal bubble will be violated and you'll be rubbing up against strangers throughout your round. At each hole, we had to wait for 1 to 2 groups to complete before it was our turn, and the round only took 17 minutes still. They also have caddies, or servers, that are working the course, taking drink orders, which further crowds the scene. And let's be honest, do we really need servers working a mini golf course that takes a whopping 17 minutes to play? Is there even time to order and receive a drink? On that topic, and a lot of people may view this as a positive, I couldn't turn around without being asked, "Are you ready for a cocktail? Ready for a drink?" I must have said no thank you 34 times throughout the night. This definitely felt like a situation where you're being baited in with a little bit of mini golf and Carnival, and the intent is to sell as many drinks as possible, which I get. It was just kind of annoying. This is also a loud, club-like venue with music and bass pumping overhead. My voice and throat were pretty sore at the end of the experience. I was ready to get the hell out of there when we wrapped up with our activities. I'm also old, so take it with a grain of salt. I've been excited to check Swingers out since the day it was announced, but I left with a really bad taste in my mouth. I felt ripped off, tricked. Was the mini golf fun? Yes, absolutely. Is the venue gorgeous? Again, yes. But in my opinion, the 17-minute mini golf experience is wildly overpriced, way too crowded, and super loud. The Carnival was a cute add-on, probably wouldn't do it again. Ditto the food and drink, which was fine, albeit spendy. And I'm a realist. I know things are expensive in Las Vegas, I get it. But the fact I got duped into tipping 20% on 2 self-guided activities made me feel like an absolute moron. And quite frankly, that impacted how I felt about the entire attraction. Nobody likes the feeling of being conned, and that's exactly how I felt. In total, the two of us spent over $200 on 2 17-minute long rounds of mini golf, an appetizer-sized pizza, 2 frosty drinks, and a handful of Carnival games. We did get to take home a bottle opener though, so we have that going for us, which is nice. We plan to share custody. Needless to say, I just don't think there's a ton of value here. If you're looking for a more affordable yet still high quality alternative, Ike and I found the new Popstroke mini golf complex at Town Square, just south of the Strip, to be a way better value. Popstroke is an outdoor mini golf course that mirrors the look and feel of a real course, with greens, rough, and even sand traps that are fluffier white grass as opposed to sand. It costs $35 to $40 for a day pass, meaning you can play their 2 separate 18-hole courses as many times as you want throughout the day. The drinks were also significantly cheaper, and we scored 2 16-ounce drafts for $17 before tip. And if you're budget conscious like me, you don't even need to rent a taxi, Uber, or Lyft. You can leverage the Deuce bus, which is inexpensive, runs up and down the Strip, and drops off right at Town Square. Thanks for watching. Glad I got that off my chest. Genuinely curious, am I overreacting to the pricing and tipping situation at Swingers? Leave your opinion down below in the comments. And of course, if you've been to Swingers and have had an experience, good or bad, I'd love to hear about that as well.